This is the Equal Parts 3 bar model video. Let's solve the first problem together. It reads, together, David, Owen, and Simon practiced 240 hours for a play. David practiced twice as long as Owen. Owen practiced 3 times as long as Simon. How many hours did David practice for the play? Okay, as always, let's start by recording what we know in a picture. We have 3 boys, David, Owen, and Simon. What do we know? We know that David practiced twice as long as Owen. So if we make a part to show how much Owen practiced, we want David to practice twice as long as Owen. Okay, so that's this part. David practiced twice as long as Owen. Now we know that Owen practiced 3 times as long as Simon. So Owen practiced 3 times as long as Simon. Now we see here that we actually have to make a smaller part than we started with. So sometimes that happens. We want Simon's part to be 1/3 of Owen's, basically, because Owen practiced 3 times. So what we're going to end up doing is make our parts smaller. Now Owen will be 3 times as long as Simon. So then these parts also, we need to change into the same size part. So now we end up with smaller parts than we initially started with, and that will happen. What else do we know? We know that together they practiced 240 hours. So now we can answer our question. How many hours did David practice for the play? Well, before we answer the question, we actually have to figure out what each of our equal parts represents. So let's count them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We have 10 equal parts. So, please just ignore my phone. 10 equal parts. So if we take 240 divided by 10, we will know that each part represents 24 hours. So now let's go back and see how many hours did David practice. So David, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, has 6 of those equal parts. Each of them is 24 hours. So 24 times 6. We get 144 hours. So David practiced 144 hours. Now you can pause the video before we go on to part 2. Okay. The second question. Clara paid $240 for 4 dresses and 4 shirts. Each dress costs 4 times as much as a shirt. Find the difference in price between a dress and a shirt. Okay, so we have a dress, how much a dress costs, and how much a shirt costs. And we know that each dress costs 4 times as much as a shirt. So we'll have our basic unit be the shirt, and the dress is 4 times the cost of a shirt. Okay, so the dress is 4 times as much as a shirt. What else do we know? We know that Clara paid $240 for 4 dresses and 4 shirts. So let's look at what 4 dresses and 4 shirts would cost. So 4 shirts is easy because if one shirt is one box, 4 is going to be 4. Okay, so one shirt is cost of one shirt is represented by one part, then 4 shirts would be 4. So now the dress, we want to represent the cost of 4 dresses. So the cost of one dress is represented by these 4 parts. Then we would need 4 times 4, or 16. Now this is going to be tricky to see if I can do 16 parts. Let me check here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. Okay, so we have 16 parts to represent those 4 dresses, because 4 times 4 is 16. So now we know that all of this costs $240. So we go back to our question, find the difference in price between a dress and a shirt. In order to do that, we need to know what each of these units represents. So what does one of those represent? So let's look at here. We have some equal parts all adding up to 240. So we have 16 here and 4 here, that's 20. And they all add up. 20 times something is 240. So if we take 240 divided by those 20 parts, we'll get 12. So each of these represents $12. Okay, so now we can go back up here and find the difference in price. Because if they each represent 12, we can find the difference in the price, which would be the 12 times 3, $36 difference. Because a shirt is 12, a dress is 12 times 4 or 48. 48 minus 12 is 36. So let's write it out. The difference in price between a dress and a shirt is $36. And that's the answer. Now you can work on the third problem on your own.